Welcome back to Retro Revivals. I'm Tyler, this is Christy, and we're about to show you Harvey. This is the RV that started it all for us. And we haven't seen it uncovered in about 8 months, and it is camping season, so it's about time to get him out of hibernation and see what's going on.
So in the last year or so, since we finished Harvey, we've had people in the comments saying, when are you going to give us the full tour? So we had all these videos where we're putting Harvey together from like terrible conditions when we first got it to where it is now, and we never really did a full tour. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to show the things that worked well, the things that didn't work so well, or things we might do different, and just give you a full view of the inside of this beautiful beast.
Oh, let's take a look. Oh boy.
Oh.
Those of you that own an RV know that any sort of leak in your roof can be super damaging, very expensive, and it could be a game over type of situation. We had something like that going with Harvey when we first got it. The people that owned Harvey before us had put some sort of roofing material, asphalt type of coating on Harvey, and it was never meant to be mobilized after that. So we brought Harvey home. That had all broken and flaked up. If you want to see our step-by-step repairs, go back and check out the video. But as far as holding up to the test of time, some of our patches worked and some of them not so well. This area here, there's like little hairline cracks, and what that was, we put that patch down and then we taped over it. It's separated ever so slightly. Okay, so the coating that we put over this was not supposed to have any moisture trapped underneath it. The Eternabond tape that we wound up using as a preventative or double insurance actually has moisture in it. Unfortunately, it is a butyl-backed tape, and it reacted, so we think, with the coating that we put on here, caused the cracks. We have to go back and fix that, and everything should be good. So that was a quick look at our roof. Everything for the most part has held up pretty well. There are a couple things that we're going to fix, but let's head downstairs and see what's going on with the rest of Harvey.
So here we are in the back of Harvey. We rebuilt this whole wall. It's still intact, which is a major milestone, I guess. Took out the window, reinstalled it. The lettering is holding up, so I re-lettered Cruise Air on the back, and it hasn't really been out in the elements too much, but it's still looking good. All new LED marker lights across. We actually also installed new LED turn signals and brake lights, and they work. It took a little, it's not super straightforward to go from the regular to the LED. You need a special box. We have a video on that. I think the only thing with these, and a couple people asked, is we don't have the four-way flashers. So thankfully we never break down, and so that shouldn't be an issue. But we did install this bike rack for extra storage. We can haul our generator on there. We have the spare tire rack holding up well. Backup camera, no issues with that. And yeah, I mean, we had a little snafu with the ladder, got it welded up, and we're good to go to get back up on the roof.
You know the only thing we're missing? A luggage rack.
I told you that.
Christy wants to put a luggage rack back up top there. It did come with the factory version that matched the ladder.
Yeah, I do think it would be a good idea in case we want to carry bigger things. We can put them on the roof. I do not know if I want to put holes in the roof, since we talked about the roof being so critical. So we'll see. Maybe someday we'll put the luggage rack back on. For today, we'll just continue to use our little bike rack.
Nice. So here on the starboard side of Harvey.
Starboard.
Yeah, I like those naval terms when you have a boat or a battleship like this. We really like Harvey, but he was a $1,000 RV that they say ran and drove.
Which some people said we severely overpaid.
and probably
we should
not
have
far
been paid
off.
to take it.
Yeah, the running and driving, not safely, but it actually made it home. It's got a lot of character. 1976, you know? As for the paint and stuff, it's thin in spots, and we might actually come back and Not necessarily paint match or make it look brand new, but cover up the bare spots a little bit. We did find a nice paint that is the same as our wheel color here, and it's just a regular spray bomb, so we might go with that. The rest of it is probably going to be left untouched.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take away from the vintage look of it. I think that's what gives it some of its charm.
Right, some battle scars. We've all got battle scars, right? As for the wheels and tires, we've had a lot of questions on those. It originally came with 16.5-inch rims, which if you own an older RV, you know that finding tires for those now is getting really hard to do. So we went ahead and went to a 16-inch rim. Thankfully, newer vehicles have 16-inch rims sometimes, but they're metric, so you have to really pay attention to this. I actually found these at a salvage yard off of I want to say it was a mid-2000s Econoline box truck. It doesn't always work out that way, so make sure you take your measurements before you go ahead and purchase your new wheels. But this actually gives us options as far as tires go now, because there's still a lot of 16-inch tire manufacturers out there.
Another cool thing on this side of the camper is the old hydro flame. So we converted this into a little storage space with a fancy drawer. Come on, baby.
Oh, you have the pin
I
in
locked it. Okay. With a fancy lock.
You would think the designer and engineer of this project would. There you go.
Here's my lock. It's a little Allen wrench. Anyway, we can put our, what do you call it?
Portable power.
Yes. We've got a battery. Our Okitel battery fits right here. We've got the option to have it charge as we go down the road. We can strap it down. And then this is actually for the fridge. So if we have our portable power station in here, we can plug in the fridge and keep our drinks and whatnot cold as we're cruising.
Yep. So underneath this panel here was where we had our propane tank. It was a little controversial. Actually, it was very controversial. We decided to delete that because for the most part, we go to state campgrounds or places where there are, we can just hook into the AC in the state park. Our appliances inside operate off of AC, so we haven't missed it yet, but it's still an ongoing thing. We're not opposed to propane, it's just something we decided not to have on Harvey.
So one of the last things we'll point out in the exterior is that we did replace these window seals. The old ones were shrunken and cracked and basically crazy. I mean, they're staying pretty well. They're still pliable. We do have a little of this stuff going on. I'm not sure how to prevent that just because of the, curve that it has to go. But I mean, I think they're doing their job. They could just go winging off as we go down the road, but they haven't yet, so we're going to call that a win.
So other than a couple little beautification projects, we were missing a letter or two off of the old Dodge emblems there.
Yeah.
Christy thought that was super critical.
Those letters, yeah.
Who wants to drive around in a Dode?
Doge or whatever. Yeah, so we fixed that. Thankfully, we found the letter inside Harvey. We removed the awnings, some general cleanup, some more tons of sealant. But overall, I think the exterior turned out pretty good.
It really did. We'll take a look inside, and then we'll come back out here in a little bit and take a look at the mechanical side of things.
So at first glance, walking into the camper, things are looking pretty good. We've got a couple glaring issues that we're going to address. One is that, here, move your head that way. Our ceiling treatment just up above the bed is peeling down, and there's a reason for that. We'll show you. The other main problem is the mouse poop. So yeah, it's kind of in most of the drawers that we've checked. Here and there, it's on the bed, is a problem.
Yeah, it goes along with the problems with the roof. As you know, owning an RV, if you have pests inside, tearing things up, chewing wires, pooping everywhere, they can be Earmuffs. Jerks.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
All right, so we're gonna show you in depth a tour of the inside of this camper. It's not huge, it's a 21-foot RV, so it won't take too long. But before we show you every nook and cranny that, you know, covered in doo-doo, we're gonna take a second, clean it up, and we'll be back to finish the tour in a minute. Well, we're back. We are way hot.
Yeah, you look hot.
And we are ready to start this tour. We de-mouse poopified everything, and we're ready to show you what we have.
If any of you have any suggestions for mice or rodent prevention in an RV, be sure and leave those in the comments. We could really use the help.
Okay, so I'm going to start off and show you all the things that we think worked well. Tyler's going to jump in, show you some things that didn't work well, and then we'll take a look under the hood, because another thing we actually have to do today is try to start this and see if it even still runs, which is a big part of being able to take your RV camping. So, something that worked well is we bought these off-the-rack cabinets from Menards, and they've given us all this storage. They were easy. I mean, we didn't have to build anything. We just installed them, and they've worked out great. They've got, you know, little lifter things that are working, and no issues with those whatsoever. The couches, I love the layout. We wanted a big open floor plan, and these give us that. They've worked awesome. We bought these RV couches at auction. We had to modify them, but this one turns into a bed. This one doesn't, but it will give us plenty of seating space, plenty of sleeping space. So I would call that a win. These fancy, you want to come take a look? Storage spaces behind the couch. You know, storage in an RV, there's never enough of it. So we built those on both sides, threw in a couple of cup holders.
Don't forget about your USB chargers.
Yep, a couple of USB chargers.
There's one
so,
there.
you know, kids or whoever can charge their phones as we go down the road. I think that was a huge win. Since I'm back here, I will mention we've got these little lights underneath our cabinets. Here, wait, let me switch you spots and I'll flip them on. We've got switches over here, 2 separate switches, and those work great. We also have on the DC these fans. So, you know, woo! We're not going to be operating the rooftop air conditioner as we drive down the road. So we can open windows. We also have fans, so if people back here are hot, hopefully that will help out. Moving around, we have these curtains that we saw the idea from some other channel online, and they're amazing. So you just unhook. I shouldn't have picked the one I can't reach. Okay, wait, let me crawl over here. And they roll down, and when you're done, you just roll them back up. This is just cheap, what is this called? Drop cloth, yeah. Just painter's drop cloth. He got a ton of it and just made them into blinds. All right, so to go through the whole tour, I should point out that we have a table here if you're wondering where one might eat. And we kind of dressed it up with this, but this table actually comes off the wall, and it's just a regular folding table that would fit right here. So we would actually just sit on our couches and eat with it. Obviously, I would take off the decor, but it will set up right here, and we have a couple stools where you could actually sit on the end too, or sit over here and kind of play cards or do whatever. So you could use that table inside, outside, whatever.
Yeah, it's worked well.
Okay, along the lines of the electrical, we bought some just regular residential light fixtures, adapted them to work with DC. So these are DC bulbs, the 12 volt, and put little toggle switch here. That one, if you can get it, also is on the DC.
I do have to add that I think the Edison bulbs are a nice little touch there.
Yeah. So those, love. The appliances have worked great. So this is just a 2-burner hob that's in induction cooktop. We have a regular, this is not DC. That's why we pointed out the battery that it could run on as we drive. This is just a regular like dorm fridge, but it's a pretty big size. We've got straps on it so it doesn't go flying around as we go down the road. And you can fit all kinds of things in there. And it's worked great so far.
Yeah, and added bonus, we got that scratch and dent at the big box store.
Yeah.
So, well, you know, don't point out the dents.
Wow, here's one.
It was not full price, was my point.
Oh, shoot. We've got our fancy tin roof. This is just plastic, but it gives a nice little touch. We've got extra storage up here. Now, these are the original cabinets, so those, have worked out. If you want to, right here, we bought this AC unit. So this is actually air conditioning and heat. And, you know, like Tyler mentioned earlier, we got rid of the propane and we needed a heat source. Usually people will use the furnace that has propane. We've used this when it was cold, like when, I don't know, it was like in the 30s, and that thing still kicked out enough heat to keep us warm overnight, and we had no problems at all with that. Before we move forward, we do have Bluetooth speakers in the back. There's one here, and then there's one if you, right by the fan, there's another one. And the cool thing about these is we also installed 2 Bluetooth speakers up front, so we could be up there listening to whatever grown-ups listen to, and then the kids could be back here listening to their thing. And you know, as we can have 2 different things going on, as long as we don't have it too loud, it's no problem.
If it's too loud, you're too old.
So for the kitchen, this was also a scratch and dent vanity. This was a bathroom vanity that I bought from a guy on Facebook Marketplace because it had some things that were broken on it, mostly at the bottom, which you don't see, and we kind of adapted it to be able to fit in here. It's been the perfect size, perfect height, everything. So this has been awesome. We put regular butcher block on top, and you know, butcher block's a little heavier than like a fake, but there's not a ton of it, and it really makes it look warm and, you know, homey in here. We've got our deep sink, which is nice. A lot of camper sinks aren't this deep. And regular residential Amazon purchase faucet with the, you know, the whole squirty business, whatever that's called. So, yeah, so this has been good too. Moving along to the bathroom, we've had a lot of questions about several things in here. So one of the things is this is a wet bath, which means you can shower in here. And this wallpaper is actually supposed to be waterproof. And I don't know if you can see it, maybe zoom in a little, Tyler. But like, see how there's like a plastic covering over it? So it does, like, it kind of separated just a hair, which you don't notice until you look for it. But truth be told, we haven't taken showers in here. So I don't know how well it'll hold up, but in theory, it will hold up fine. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to go too wild with it, but we do have a shower curtain that you can pull all the way around. The other thing that we get a ton of questions about is this epoxy. So when we first got Harvey, I'm just going to sit here real quick. This was kind of a yellowish, really dated...
Baby poop.
Well, baby and...
Well, okay.
There were several different species of poop in this when we got it. This place, not just this, the whole thing stunk so bad you can't even. But anyway.
Yeah, go back and check out that video. Priceless.
Focus. So this epoxy, it's a 2-part epoxy. We just got it at Home Depot right off the shelf. You mix part A, part B. I think it was Rust-Oleum brand.
That is correct.
painted on, I think, 3 coats, and it has held up great. Now, I will say we've kept this bamboo rug down here, and so, you know, it takes a little bit of the foot traffic where you might normally damage, and gets rid of that. But there's the floor drain there. Yeah, so the epoxy, I think, has held up great. We also added this sweet LED medicine cabinet that works as our bathroom light, but since that only works on shore power, we added another DC light that we could use when we're on battery.
It did originally come with a porcelain toilet, and believe it or not, the previous owners thought that was a selling feature. Unfortunately, it was kind of decorated with random other stuff.
We couldn't keep that toilet.
No.
So up here in the front of Harvey, this carpet worked well. This is just from Menards. We put it down actually with just some double-sided tape for the most part. Beneath it is all kill mat, so it helps with the sound and the heat that would get transferred up. But I think the coup de grace,
That's not French,
is this cup holder. So you can't have a 1970s RV without a wooden cup holder on top of your doghouse. So there
Agreed.
you go.
That's nice. To go with our backup camera in the back, we also put a monitor up there. And Christy did clean up the original bucket seats. They were in good shape. They were just covered in, I think, what was it, kitty litter? Cat food?
Cat food mostly.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh. Oh, I got it. These are just little fleece blankets. They were very inexpensive, but they kind of went with that 70s theme. We just sewed a channel in the top, and they can slide on this cable. I think that was a win. We've got a full size, I believe this is an 8-inch mattress, not full, queen size mattress up here. It's comfortable. It was one of those box deals where it just inflates when you get it out. We constructed this headboard for some other storage, and if you peek around the corner, we have one more fan up here. So at night, if we're sleeping or trying to sleep, then we have a little breeze going.
Dang it.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I almost forgot. We've got these awesome, I mean, it's hard to like see because of the crazy, but we have these awesome little reading lamps that are LED, and they also have chargers built in where we can charge our phones on those. So, I mean, we're at the elephant in the room kind of point of this tour, and we're going to start to transition into things that we think didn't work that well or that we need to fix in some way. Now, the ceiling, this is contact paper that looks like wood. We didn't want to add the weight of putting on all new wood. Judging by the looks of it now, you might say that this was a fail. However, really, I think it was not a fail. And the reason I say that is like from here back, it is perfect. It's awesome, just like the day we put it in. It's from here forward that things happened.
that is brand new information.
So the reason though, I don't know if you can see, Tyler, this up here had a different kind of ceiling. So someone had redone the front before we got Harvey and added that plastic, what's it called? Fiberglass? Something board.
Like that, sure. I don't know what
It's just the thin plasticky sheets, 4x8 sheets up there, and it's slightly textured and glossy, and so it's just not sticking with that. So we have a plan to try to fix it. Overall, I would say the ceiling is a success, but it needs some work. But now we can kind of roll into the things that we would change if we were to do this again.
Okay, so for the things that didn't work well, other than the obvious ceiling treatment, we plan on rectifying. Let's see, one of the things, the flooring that we used, we got cheap, like click together vinyl flooring. In the wintertime, it actually had separated a little bit and those cracks were a little bit more visible. But now that summer's rolled around, everything seems to have maybe even swelled up a little bit.
Right.
Fitting a little tighter, so it doesn't look too bad, but it's work in progress.
I know, it's funny, it's just the LVP. I was going to say, yeah, that's a thing I wouldn't do again, but it looks great today, so I don't know.
So Christy and I have been calling this our sleeping quarters. This ladder here is really not very comfortable. It hooks on the, let me show you here real quick where it resides. But it hooks on the rail here. But I'm telling you, in the middle of the night, in your bare feet, not the most comfortable thing to get up and down from. So we were going to do some sort of like really cool engineered project where the store's folded out from somewhere. We may still do that, but for right now, we're still using the old tin ladder. And the bottom corners are really sharp. We've been putting a pad down on the floor, that way it doesn't dig into the floor and scar things up too bad. One of the other things that I'm not particularly fond of is the electrical system. Everything works and it works well. I personally wired it myself, so how could it go wrong? But I did find out after the fact that like most everything, for whatever reason, I put on one breaker. And so you got the AC and you got the different appliances. Now we haven't had any problems with popping breakers yet. I don't necessarily feel that that's the way to go. So I will rectify that. It should be an easy wiring remedy and then everything should be good there. But I did want to point this out. We do have a switch that will alternate between the hob and the water heater, so we're not using them both at the same time. And I think it's really helped solve any of our breaker trips so far. Not the neatest wiring job I've ever done, but we've got our converter down here. This is our house battery kill switch. Green turns things on, of course red is off. This is our water pump switch here. Our AC circuit breakers are in the back. We've got our AC cord coiled up there. All of our fuses. The nice thing I will say about this fuse block for the DC side is if you ever blow one of these fuses, these red LED lights will come on and tell you which is not working.
Nice.
Christy mentioned the epoxy worked great in the bathroom. The one thing that I didn't consider, we use RV antifreeze to winterize, and unfortunately when I poured it down the sink drain, there was like puddling, we'll call it, and it actually stained the epoxy. So I will take full credit, blame. I hate to say it, but that was my fault. We've learned a lesson there.
You know, I actually hit it with some bleach we were cleaning and it looks like it's almost not pink anymore.
Oh, so I take it back. All credit, no blame. Last year when we got Harvey out of hibernation, this is our water heater, and we noticed that after the water tank or water system pressurized, that the little relief valve up there, it was leaking. And I don't know if I should take credit or blame for that. I feel like everything was winterized properly, the tank was drained, but it still leaked. I replaced that, everything's good now. The other thing to go along with the flooring is this particular rug. Too light of a color. I mean, we go to state parks, like I said, where, you know, you go to the beach or whatever, you track stuff in. This light color really shows up the dirt and grime and everything, and plus it's really slippery, so it kind of balls up, and not the best solution or
That
choice.
was more for beauty, form over function.
Okay. And I think what might be the last thing is the front and back window. Now, for whatever reason, I'm the one that sleeps closest to the window, and if you're looking for privacy, it's really not there. So we've got to do something to fix that. After we get those windows covered, we should be in good shape.
We're gonna pop the hood and see if this baby purrs.
Let's go with start.
All right, wait, will you test our smoke detector first? Oh yeah. Wow.
Is that all it does? I was waiting.
Ah, okay. So let's take a peek under the hood. Ah!
Wow.
Babe, look. What? Okay, this guy was not here a minute ago.
What in the world?
Heck? Hey, buddy.
Oh, wow. Is a turtle a
it's a
good
painted
omen? Oh.
Aw.
Wow, what was he doing just hanging there?
I don't know, but what do we do with him?
Well,
Just leave him?
yeah, I mean, I'm going to set him off, maybe put him out behind the barn. Wild. Oh, look at him.
Hey, what are you doing? He's gonna pee on you.
Wait, my mom and dad forgot to show you what's under the couch. We got new seatbelts, a water tank, and our water pump.
We are on to what I consider my favorite part of this project, all the mechanicking that went into it. And
She may not be exactly honest when she says that.
no, I just like the fun stuff that we just looked at on the inside of the camper. But apparently this stuff's important too.
I like the mechanical side. So let's take a look at the heartbeat of what makes Harvey Harvey.
There's the hood that you hit your head on 18 times.
Oh, that hurt. I have fond memories. Well, technically I probably don't have as many memories now that I've hit it so many times. But anyway, so mechanically, Harvey was kind of a basket case when we first got him. I have done a lot of mechanicking to Harvey. Background, Harvey's got a 440 cubic inch big block engine, 727 torque flight trans. It's only a 3-speed, which we may address at some point.
Do you guys hear that? Torque flight.
So Harvey was notorious for overheating. It was hothead Harvey for a while. Harvey got a full cooling system swap. We swapped in an aluminum radiator. We did a water pump, we did a fan clutch, we did radiator hoses, coolant flush, should be golden. So far, Harvey has been pretty reliable in the temperature department.
Oh
so
man, knock on wood.
No longer hothead, but I know it's a new season, anything's possible. One of the other issues Harvey had was the drive shaft. Not only was it dented and causing it to be out of balance, but it was also a little too long. So we had a custom drive shaft made to help with the vibration issue, and it worked out really well, so good for us. Harvey's got a new alternator, a new oil pump, like I said, the cooling system, an ignition coil, spark plug wires. I went through, did the brakes all the way around, repacked the wheel bearings, wheel seals, rear diff, changed the fluid there.
I changed this thing, didn't I? Even though it looks super old.
Well, and yeah, that's the beauty of a master cylinder. So the master cylinder, that was one of the issues where we didn't have brakes to start with. We swapped that out. Christy did a great job of that. He also has, from time to time, a hot start problem. And that means after we've driven just a few miles, we get out to put gas in it, which happens a lot because it doesn't get very good gas mileage.
What, probably like 7?
Yeah, if you're going downhill, you might get 8, 9.
Wow. Okay.
But that's the price you pay for such a beautiful engine. Anyway, one of the problems with the hot start was the ignition. So it does have an electronic ignition, which I know you may find that hard to believe being from 1976. I went ahead and bypassed the electronic ignition portion and put in an HEI style ignition. And it's really simple. You can find the directions online. It essentially takes a lot of the computer control stuff out of the equation, and it is reliable. So we haven't had too many problems since then. There is a connection here. Like, come back real quick. Probably my biggest fault was making this connection right here, and it's just a plug. Technically, this end here goes to the distributor. This end here goes up to your HEI module. That is a sore spot to me. There's no need to have that connection there. I'm just going to solder splice those wires together and eliminate any sort of connection issue in the future. Oh, the one thing I did want to mention also, to go along with that hot start issue, it had the original thermoquad carburetor on there. That's a big 4-barrel carburetor. Without going into too much detail, I rebuilt the carburetor, still continued to have problems with it after the fact. It did work better, but we wound up getting a new Edelbrock carburetor, swapping that out. And honestly, I think that has been the biggest difference as far as engine performance. It runs so much smoother. It's got electric choke. We're going to try to start this up. Yeah, being that it's been hibernating for 8 months, we are, in full disclosure, just going to give it a rip and see, will it start?
How many tries do you think it'll take cranking?
Well, it depends on how long I just cranked the one time. Oh, okay, it's got a new starter in it. I got a PowerMaster high torque starter. I know if you guys are familiar with old Dodge engines, it sounds like, I've heard dying dolphin, like they're just Anyway, the high torque starter is key to spinning that engine over a little bit faster and giving you some good solid cranking ability. So if you guys are familiar with van life or anything Class C camper related, there's not a whole lot of room to work up here. Okay, so I got to remember where all my connections go. So we did go through all the fluids, the coolant, oil has been changed regularly and often, and I did do the transmission servicing. I also changed the filter there. Let's see what kind of oil situation we've got. Well, it says we're over full. It doesn't smell overly gassy. Maybe I just got carried away. You know, it's better to have too much than not enough. So are you taking bets on, will it start? How long will it take to start? And will it stay running?
I mean, if you crank it normal, I feel like it'll start on the third try and will stay running.
Dang, I'm gonna give it 5 tries.
Well, you better actually try.
So I will definitely try. Okay, it's got a mechanical fuel pump. It does, if I had a guess, it's probably got to pull gas from the tank all the way in the back up here.
Does it have gas?
Yeah, let's check to see if it has gas.
Ain't got no gas in it.
It's got a quarter of a tank.
All right.
And I did put some gas treatment, like some Sta-Bil, in the tank before we put it away. So
All right.
gas should be good.
Give it some pumps,
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
I guess. Okay, that's one, but pump it a couple more times. Okay. Oh, dang it. Are you sure you didn't disconnect
No.
that wire
Which wire?
to the distributor?
No, we're good.
4. Dang it.
We have a minor belt squeal.
A minor. Oh.
It'll be fine. So Harvey's got 90,970 miles on it. Not all of the gauges are still hooked up here. I did add a tack just to keep the RPMs under control. But I did go with the aftermarket gauges. You can see we've got almost 75 pounds of pressure right now. Water temperature's coming up slow in the trans temp. So that is just for my peace of mind. We're going to let Harvey sit here and warm up a little bit, and then we will check back in and see how it's doing.
So it starts 4th try, just like I said. But we appreciate everyone tuning in today, checking out Harvey. If you haven't seen it, go back and check out some of our other videos. But I'm excited that it's up and running, it's clean, it's basically ready to camp. We are gonna fix the ceiling. We already bought new wood stuff, contact paper basically, to go up there. We think we've got a plan for that. We definitely want to get out camping. Tomorrow's actually our anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
So we thought we might try to sneak away just for a night and, you know, just relax for once, because we stay busy. We've got a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. So we've got a big project with the barn. We want to get it spray foamed. We've been tearing things apart left and right, trying to store things and like reorganize. We get that done. Maybe we'll be more productive, who knows. We've got the Rambler, still working on that. We want to get that finished up, but we've come a long ways. Not a long way to go, so we're in pretty good shape. And then we've got the Econoline here, which is going to be a colossal project, but we're ready. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe. It really helps our channel. We'll see you next time. Listen to it roar.